Hi people, it's Kara, and I'm here today with my Batman vs. Superman review. I'm going to start off by saying I don't think I'm going to spoil anything, but if you're afraid of spoilers, I would unfortunately click away just in case, and I'm not even in a good social standing on here to tell you to be clicking away from my video, but I care about you, and I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, so if you don't feel like you can watch this, I understand. So I'm going to start off by saying a couple of good things about the movie because everybody's talking about it. So I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and ride into the sunset. I'm going to start off by saying a couple of good things about the movie because most of the reviews have been negative, so I should start off by saying a couple of good things. First of all, the movie was not as bad as everyone said it was. People were like, oh, it's boring, this, that, and the other thing, it's absolutely terrible. No, I am one to fall asleep during movies sometimes if I hate them, and I know that's really silly and a waste of money, but I can't help it sometimes because I suck. I did not fall asleep during this movie, and it was long, and it couldn't have been that boring, so, really it wasn't as bad as everyone was saying. Another good thing is that Ben Affleck honestly did a great job as Batman. I am excited to see him in a solo Batman movie. I think that will really do him justice, really show what he can do as Batman. He did a phenomenal job. I like him as Batman. I am very curious to see where he's going to go with that. Of course, Henry Cavill, is that how you say it? Henry Cavill did a great job as Superman. I'm not a big fan of Superman. I never have been, but I thought that he did a great job, and he has been doing a great job. He looks the part and acts the part. He's Superman. He's great. Say Jesse Eisenberg. He played a great villain. Notice I said he played a great villain. I didn't say that he played a great Lex Luthor. This is where I'm going to transition to some of the negative stuff about the movie. Jesse Eisenberg, I loved his character. I loved how he was playing a villain. Do I think that was Lex Luthor? No. Is that how Lex Luthor had been portrayed from what I remember from my childhood? No. Like I said, I'm not a big Superman fan, so I shouldn't really be one to talk, I guess. But I thought that they did him a great injustice as an actor to have him, or to allow him, or whatever, to play Lex Luthor in that way. I know a lot of people were comparing him to Riddler or the Joker, and he definitely may have not been exactly that, but he did play a villain more towards, those characters. And honestly, he was a great villain. I loved him as a villain, did not love him as Lex Luthor. And also the relationship between Lex and Superman, I didn't feel like they portrayed that very well at all, just from what I remember from the Superman that I, had seen in the past as a child, and from what I know. The relationship was very weird. Maybe it's just me. Another thing I'm going to touch on is that in this movie there are a number of dream sequences, and they really fuck you up, for lack of a better word. The dream sequences come in, and you're like, oh my god, that's wrong, that's so wrong, that's the wrongest thing ever. And then it's just like, oh no, it's just a dream, just kidding. And you're like, oh god, woo! But it happens like 3 or 4 times. You're just like, ugh, what is happening? Why? When I got in there, like, one of the first things, obviously the movie opens up, I'm just gonna say, this is the beginning, it's not really spoiling anything. The movie opens up and they explain how, Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, his parents and everything like that. And during his parents' funeral, he's running, he's all upset running, and he falls into a hole, and the hole is filled with bats. And then all of a sudden, he gets lifted up like an angel with these bats, and he's flying out of the hole, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so stupid. I'm gonna have to walk out of this movie before it even begins. Oh, no. Oh, I need to leave this theater. But then it was a dream. They're like, oh no, just kidding. And you're like, oh, stop doing that to me. The dream sequences. Don't let them get you. Oh my god. Another thing I want to touch on is that a lot of stuff's going on in this movie. They introduce a lot of characters. just there's a lot going on. You really have to pay attention to be able to follow it. This movie was definitely rushed. They put so much into one movie, so many characters. It's just like so much is going on. They really lost a lot of the story, lost a lot of the background, which is really sad because it really could have been a great, great movie instead of just an okay movie. They're trying to, I know that they're really trying to push for Justice League to catch up with Marvel, but slow down, guys. You guys could have something great. Doomsday. He looks like a Ninja Turtle reject. Like, straight out of the Ninja Turtle movie, popped in this movie, like, rejected, bye-bye, Ninja Turtle reject. Looks nothing like he's supposed to. They introduce him in this movie, and with all the other stuff going on, you really lose that. That should have maybe been in another movie, just like him and everything else, just too much, too soon. Apparently his powers were wrong, the way he was created was wrong, so that's not really good. Wonder Woman's story was also apparently, like, incorrect. Her background was apparently incorrect. They made her, like, really old, and apparently she wasn't tall enough, so some people had problems with the way that she was looking, but I thought that she did a great job playing her, especially not having too many other acting things going on. I thought she did a really great job, and I'm interested to see where she's gonna go. Lois Lane royally pissed me off in this movie. I don't know if it's anybody else, but she's pissed me off. She was so annoying. There's this one scene where, you know, they're Superman, Batman fighting the Kryptonite staff. There's a Kryptonite staff. And they're done fighting. They're like, oh yeah, we're friends now. Let's go save the world. And Lois Lane's like, let me take this staff and throw it in a lake. Just, okay, bye. Just throw it in this random body of water. Just Kryptonite staff. Movie goes on, and they're like, oh shit, we need the Kryptonite staff. And Lois Lane's like, oh no, I threw it in a lake. So she goes back into the lake to get the Kryptonite staff, and she's like drowning and dying, and everything's going wrong. Superman comes to save her, and they have the staff. And I know that she was trying to, I guess, get it away from him, but everyone's fighting Doomsday, doing what they gotta do, and she's like, oh, this staff's gonna help, and it's gonna save, you know, everyone's gonna use it to kill him. And she's just like, ah! It just throws it to no one. Like, here guys, catch! And I know she's trying to get away from Superman because it's hurting him, whatever. But she's just like, nah, catch! It looked so stupid. Oh, man. She pissed me off in this movie. I don't know if anyone else had that problem, but I definitely did. On top of everything else, did no one notice that between this movie and the last Superman movie, that there's literally no city left? It's actually impossible for there to be any city left. DC, back at it again with the destroying of cities. Just complete disregard for any building or anything around them. The fighting, just destroying so many things. Like, did no one show up for work that day? Does no one live in any of these buildings? I even think they tried to cover themselves, if I remember correctly, or I might have dreamt this or hoped this, that they said, oh, you know, they closed the downtown district early due to whatever, so that no one would be at work because they just, like, need to crush all of the buildings for whatever reason. Like, they don't even try to avoid it. And this might be a spoiler, I guess. So, cover your ears if you're still watching, you don't want to know. It's really not that big of a deal, I think. They even at one point tried to nuke Doomsday. Like, they just like, oh yeah, it's okay, just bring a nuke out. Okay. So they nuke him, and they don't even care. They're not like, oh, you know, it could cause radiation or something like that. On top of a monster, on top of all the buildings being destroyed. I just think that it's really, really getting out of hand with the building destroying and the everything destroying, and they need to calm down with that. Really, they do. Overall, it's a pretty good movie. Definitely not as bad as everyone was saying. I was super nervous going into it, and I mean, for the first half of the movie, I was like, all right, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. Towards the end, it does get jumbled, it feels very rushed, there's a lot going on, a lot of characters happening, and you're just kind of like, whoa, okay, where are we going with this? Slow down a little, DC. I mean, I would give it like a solid 6 or 7. That's not solid, that's 2 numbers, I didn't make a choice. But, you know, definitely go check it out. Let me know what you think. And this is just my opinion, you know, don't take my word for it. I don't claim to know everything about comics, everything about Batman, everything about Superman. Just observe, just what I observed. That's all. I'll see you guys next time with another video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please take a minute to also subscribe. Stay with me, be my friend, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!